Hey guys, welcome back to the Friday vlog where we discuss activity that goes on here with the BuzWeaver channel. That includes things like current events, headlines that are in the news, social media, technology, and items of interest that come up during the week that allow us to have a little bit of a dialogue. If you are new here to the channel and or a frequent visitor, I'd like to welcome you guys back and encourage you both, if you haven't already, to click on that watermark down there in the bottom right hand corner to subscribe. That way you guys will know when there is content here on the channel, to include the Friday vlog. On Monday of this week, I did a review on Swansons Brain Essentials, a nootropic that I have been using now for quite some time. You can check that out up here in the top right hand corner. Now, I used to build my own stacks of nootropics, but I decided to go with more of a blend, and this particular combination seemed to work really good for me, so take a moment and check that out. One of the things I like to do here on the BuzWeaver channel is take the complex, the overly elaborate and unnecessarily complicated things and make them simple. So this week we heard from members of the House of Representatives, the Democrats in particular, talking about drawing up articles of impeachment. Now, you may have been hearing about this since the time President Trump has taken office, or if you're one of my international fans that watch here on the channel, you may be wondering, what is all this impeachment talk? Well, first, let's just go directly to what you need to know in basic American civics. To impeach a president of the United States, it requires 2/3 vote from the House of Representatives, 2/3 votes from the Senate, and the approval of the Vice President. There you have it. That's simple. So why isn't anyone telling you this? Why isn't the media talking about this? Why aren't politicians talking about this? Why isn't anyone giving you this information as simple and direct and in plain English language that I just did? And that is because politicians and the mainstream media operate under the auspice that individuals don't have the time, the energy, or the effort to look into anything that they do, fact check, and just educate themselves on these particular topics. And so, you knowing that now, you probably can kind of get an idea of how absurd it actually is. I mean, this is why the president doesn't talk about it. This is why the administration doesn't talk about it, because the idea of impeaching a president is incredibly difficult. And even though the House of Representatives is dominated by the Democrats, there are still members within the Democratic Party that aren't interested in pursuing impeachment because they probably already know that it would be near impossible to do that. But the media and, of course, some of the politicians are going to bank on the idea that people just don't have the time, the energy, or the effort to look into it, especially all the Trump detractors, the people that have what is called Trump derangement syndrome. They're so angry, they're so upset, they just want to hear anything that will keep them amused, or what's known as the Trump bump. Trump dominates so much of the headlines, and much of that, of course, is negative. But this whole idea of impeachment is absolutely absurd and is just taking up time, energy, and effort. It's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to accomplish anything. What this suggests to me and many others is that the Democrats realize that they're in a schism. They're in a situation that is very complicated and very difficult. They are divided amongst themselves. They don't have like a central candidate that they can really rally around. Joe Biden looks to be kind of that guy, but he's more of the old school Democrat, more of the moderate, centric, business type Democrat mindset, where you have all the progressives there like Ilhan Omar and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. You have these individuals who make up the Progressive Party. Then you have the moderates and the centrists within the Democratic Party, then the business elites within the Democratic Party, and they're all kind of at war with each other. And the thing is, these new candidates, for example, like Joe Biden, Elizabeth Warren, and maybe even Bernie Sanders, and Bernie Sanders made a very a bad brand label move this week by inviting Linda Sarsour to speak or interact with or be part of his campaign. And that was probably not the greatest thing for Bernie. But the thing is about Bernie is he's going to get thrown back under the bus again. So all the Bernie bros out there who I know were very excited about him running again, I just don't see Bernie being one of the candidates. I mean, I can see Elizabeth Warren maybe being like a backup to Joe Biden should something happen to Biden, because he's back in his gaffmaster line of operation, and he of course had that eye bleed and other things that are going on. And of course, when these individuals have these kinds of problems, there's no mention of potential concerns about health. But if President Trump even sneezes, then they're going to suggest that, obviously he is unfit for office. But nonetheless, this whole impeachment nonsense, I want to break it down for you guys and make it super simple for you to understand exactly what's going on. And I will publish a link down in the published section if you guys want to check that out a little further. There is great news out of Hong Kong this week, as we have learned that Carrie, the executive officer of Hong Kong, which would be equivalent to a mayor or a governor, has retracted the extradition bill. It has been eliminated. It is a success for all those who have protested, for all those who are in line with freedom and expression and liberty, because the extradition bill, of course, would allow mainland China to just simply snatch someone up out of Hong Kong that had committed some type of crime towards China. And committing a crime towards China could simply just be a criticism of China in and of itself, much less any type of crime in and of itself. So that has been eliminated, which is probably a huge relief to those in Hong Kong. And of course, when Hong Kong was released to China in 1997, the idea here was that it would be one country, two systems, so that Hong Kong would have its autonomy, because it is a huge economic center for the world. And now this really gives them a lot more breathing room and gives the people a little bit sense of ease. Now, who knows how much further China is going to press this, or what options and maneuvers that China is going to do. But right now, China is going through a new nationalist type wave right now, and they're really trying to become more of the centralized communist xenophobic nation that they have been for quite some time now. They had really loosened all that up in the early 2000s and had really opened themselves up to travel, opened themselves up to business and trade and so forth. Now, it was still under communism, but with this rise in nationalism in China, it has been a growing concern for many people. And as you know, I follow ADV China, a channel that I really enjoy, and both the guys have now sold their homes there and have moved back here to the United States. Unfortunately, the families are still divided and having issues. Some of their families that are in Hong Kong, of course, and loyal to the Communist Party and things of that nature. So there is still some strife even among family members as a result of all this. But I think in the long run, this is going to work out far better for Hong Kong. And I will put some information in the public section for you guys to check out. And that's going to wrap it up for this Friday vlog. I want to thank all you guys for your continued support of the channel during these summer months, which can be quite challenging. I would encourage you now to click on that like button too, if you have not already done so. And of course, we have the obligatory channel icon appearing right there on the screen to subscribe, along with that notification. That way you guys will know when the Friday vlogs are available, as well as additional content that's here on the channel. And I will see you guys behind the camera there next week.